Right now, we know that Korea has been our top market. It makes up about 70% market share of visitors to our islands. So when we start having heavy on just one market, it leaves us very vulnerable to a lot of external factors, right? So if we look at the Korea market, just all the things that have happened just in the past last fiscal year. So first it started, it started in like June of 2024 when Asiana exited our market. And so Asiana was, a great partner for us for like over 30 years, providing consistent flights, regular flights. And they were a full service carrier. So they were bringing in, people who maybe have a higher spending capabilities, right? So when Asiana exited in June of 2024, that already reduced our seat capacity. It reduced flights and ability to attract more people to the island. Then in December of 2024, the Jeju crash happened, and Jeju is our main supplier of seats from Korea. So when that happened, and their government put a lot of tighter controls on air service, we also saw the effect of that because um, now the airlines needed to really reconsider how they turn over their and utilize their aircraft, as well as reconsider the cost to different locations. So after that happened, in February, just a couple months later, T-Way got bought out by a new company. They changed their management, and T-Way has also been a great partner to the CNMI and to our region. But with the new management, there's relationships and that need to be made. And then there's also, they're also very concerned about profitability. They look very carefully at each and every route to ensure that it's going to be a profitable route. So after that happened, with all of these things that happened, then we started getting flight suspensions starting in March. So both T-Way and Jeju started like suspending their flights on and off after all of that happened. And we wanted to really understand what is causing this because it's not something that we've seen in like the previous year, right? So we had discussions with them, and basically it's profitability. They were saying, the way that the airlines works is they try to get the highest ticket sale price, and then when it comes closer to the travel date and they see that there's still available seats, they might push the price down so that it will fill up the aircraft more, right, to maximize their potential sales. So they were seeing that the ticket price, the final ticket price was becoming lower and lower, and of course that eats into their profits, and other expenses and fees that they also incur will eat into that. So, and then just during the summer, the merger of going back to your question originally, sorry, I had to draw out this picture, but the merger of the Korean Air and Asiana is really something that has impacted us really severely. And it's not just, MVA or Saipan that's saying it. The airlines themselves in Korea, they're coming out to their government and sharing this concern because what happened was when that merger, in order for that merger to take place, they needed to follow some mandates. So one of it was that they wanted to protect consumer choice or consumer choice for Guam as a destination. So they mandated that Korean Air will provide flight service to match the levels of what it was pre-pandemic. I believe it's 2019 to match 2019's levels of seats into Guam. But however, we're in 2025, the market has really changed, and the demand for that amount of seats didn't really exist today. So what's happening is it's creating it's creating an issue where It's an unbalanced supply and demand market. Basically, there's a high supply but a low demand. So the airlines are, or the Korean Air flights are not really being maximized. There's empty seats, right? So what happens is Korean Air needs to lower their price. Remember I mentioned earlier, if they don't sell out, they need to lower their price. So they lower their price, and sometimes we're seeing like 200, 250 for round trip between Guam and Korea on a full service carrier. So that would influence people's choice. That would influence demand, right? People will see like, oh wow, Guam has like all these flights daily, lots of available seats at a very good price. So now consumer choice, they're gonna say like, let me go to Guam, right? But meanwhile, Tiwai and Jeju, who service our destination, and Guam and Saipan destination, the Korean market sees it very similar. Also, the travel agencies, when they sell our destinations, they consider it a very similar destination. So, Tiwai and Jeju now, in order for them to basically make a profit or be at least comfortable, they need to sell their round trip ticket between Saipan and Guam at around $350. So now to remain competitive, they need to reduce their price to be competitive to what Korean Air is offering to Guam. And so that's when profitability becomes an issue. So, they've made it clear to us that they've had to reduce their prices, and now to fly their plane between Saipan and Korea is a loss. There's no profit, it's a loss. So that's where we're at right now. And then also, like I mentioned, the travel agencies, big travel agencies on Korea like Motour and Hanatour, they've been huge partners for us too, to sell our destination to their client base. But when the flight started being very volatile, like it's flying, then it's not flying, and then it's suspended, then it resumes, it also impacts their reputation because they're selling it, but then they have to change courses because the flight was suspended. So now they are also pulling back some of their support to our destination because they don't want to lose credibility, and as they're trying to sell vacation package to their clients as well. So sorry to go into all that detail, but it is just one after the other of things that have happened within that Korea market. And like I mentioned in the very beginning, it makes 70% of our tourist mix. So any small thing is a huge impact already. So that's the Korea market.